Cool.
All right, Aaron Prickel.
Yeah. You're okay. All right, let's roll. Happy, what is today? Thursday? Happy Thursday. So I was forewarned that I'm following a Pokemon YouTuber, so this may not be as exciting as that, even though I will help keep you awake. Yeah, nobody cares about that. Okay, so we go till 2, I believe. Marie said this goes till 2. Look at him, he's like, holy shit, I'm just messing with you. Cheezel Pete's. We'll be out of here in 15 or 20. I got stuff to do too. See, look, he's very like, it's not going to be too bad. So I thought of a couple things today, and you'll see, yes, traditional. I'm not going to put a bunch of words on slides. Ethan, where'd Ethan go? I saw him earlier. Ethan, there was a couple of them. I just saw the name up there, right? So there's an Ethan in here, and there's like a Will, and so I know some names, so don't hide from me, please, because I cheated and used Kahoot. So help me out. So when it says interactive, you've all had people come up here and just preach for an hour, and that's really boring, so we won't do that. And my goal is to have time fly, so by the time we're all said and done, I want to get just a couple of light bulbs to pop. Some of you in this room may be budding or aspiring entrepreneurs. Some of you may not. The conversation we'll have today is a conversation we have with our clients on a daily basis. We're in the executive coaching, sales leadership, sales training business. I mentioned this in dialogue days earlier. If you think of traditional sales training, think the opposite, and that's what we do, right? So my sister's the smart one of the family, has a bunch of initials after her name, saves lives for a living. If you ask my parents, what does your son do? They're like, sales something. So don't worry, we can break the stigma today. And I do hope some light bulbs pop from that perspective. And like mentioned on the previous slide, this will actually work out well with this room set up the way it is. I'll have this side do something, and I'll split the middle and do something. And this looks like the overachieving side, they'll do something too. So there's our end goal for today. I just want to get a couple light bulbs to pop. If any of you are going on a trip anytime soon, if any of you are planning anything, the pieces that are listed here, this 4 S's, sadly enough, as Mr. Fulton and I were talking, and Marie before walking over here, I use these same 4 S's in planning vacations. Sounds weird, but that's how I operate. After almost 20 years of doing this, it's just part of my DNA now. So let's look at a couple things. Some common business blind spots. 4 S's, I don't know how else to say it. I couldn't say it in a fancier way than that. To help build bulletproof business and some real life application. And when we get to all 3 of those, I'll ask for some help from all of you. Let me ask you this quick question though. Is there anybody in here that legit is aspiring to be an entrepreneur in some way, shape, or form? Yeah, that's badass. Can I ask why? Say it again. Awesome. There you go. But why an entrepreneur as an overall? Why an entrepreneur just as a whole? There you go. All right, I'll take that. Somebody else, go. Go, sir.
To learn how to do like a lot of different things and just stuff like that.
So that way when someone asks what's your title at the company, you can say I am the accountant, janitor, dishwasher, CEO, because to your point, you pretty much have to do everything, right? So when anybody asks, Aaron, what's your title? It's janitor, accountant, CEO, sales, accounts receivable, everything from that perspective. Let's get one more over here. I saw a couple of hands. Who else wants to be an entrepreneur? Go. Thank you for bailing your friend Aaron out.
I think in life there is so much more potential for people than just to do one stagnant thing. And I want to do it all. And I think being an entrepreneur allows you to do that.
And when you say do it all, give me an example of what you mean.
I want to dabble in every realm, specifically the fashion industry.
Okay. I think I put something at the very end. One thing to be very careful of, and I'm not saying this from your comment, it just caused my brain to fire some synapses together. One of the gentleman on the panel right before this made a very good comment to this. Every one of you in here has a unique talent. And when you try to be everything to everyone, that may not be your unique talent. So we play a game in our office. The leadership team plays a game every year where we create the list of all the things we don't want to do anymore because they zap the energy out of us, and then we hire people to do that stuff. And I don't mean that in a bad way. It's just those are things that zap energy out of people. Even our controller, to your point, has been with us. He knows a lot, but now he's to a point where he's becoming very sophisticated in how he can model and do more of planning versus bookkeeping. And he goes, Aaron, I don't want to do bookkeeping anymore. Boom, build a case of why we should hire a bookkeeper then, because now he's taking his unique talents, right, and spending a majority of his time in there, right? You should be spending 60 to 70% in the ideal fairy tale world in whatever your unique talent is, and that's what brings you energy back, right? So I could stand up here all day. This is what I do for a living, is stand in front of people. This is my talent, which is why at nights or weekends or vacations, I go into the middle of nowhere and hide from people because I get peopled out after that perspective. But during the day, I love it. If my wife was here, she would already be crying and curled up in a ball, nervous as shit. But that's why she's good at what she does, and I do what I do, and it all works out in the end. So let's go. I'm going to change a word here real quick. Will you pick somebody? What's your first name?
Andrew.
Andrew, can you just pick somebody? Preferably not right next to you. That's too predictable. Avery. Avery. You're Avery. Hi, Avery. What do you think that means?
Your business runs how you want it to.
Well, I mean, she's like, Aaron, it's pretty self-explanatory. So we can change the word business and put life, because your life right now is operating exactly how you have it designed. Right? So 'tis the season. It's getting ready to come up. If you were to come down to the Prickel household in December, my wife is a frantic mess for several reasons. One, our house looks like Hobby Lobby threw up in it because it is so decked out with Christmas stuff. We almost look like the Griswolds on the outside because she invests the whole month of November hanging Christmas lights and putting out decorations. Now, don't get me wrong. If you come visit or live there and you're not her, it's pretty freaking cool. It's like, this is really festive. But how much time does she spend in the entire month of November doing all that shit? A ton. And then she handwrites over 200 Christmas cards. She doesn't believe in doing any snapfish picture with the kids. And no, she handwrites cards because she doesn't like the impersonal touch. So she spends countless nights sucking down Mick Ultras, writing her handwritten Christmas cards. Why? Because that brings joy to her. How many times at any one of our kids' schools is she helping out at some Christmas party, holiday party, baking this, making that, and she runs frantic. December 15th is usually my last day of work for the year, so I sit around, relax. She's frantic, and she's like, I don't know why December's always so hectic. And I go, because that's how you have it designed. Like, ta-da! So for those of you who go, holy cow, my life's a frantic mess. Sorry, it's how you have it designed. For those of you that go, I lead a pretty nice drama-free life. Kudos, that's how you have it designed. You may not like it, but as Avery said, it's pretty simple. Let's see, how can I do this? I'll morph it a little bit. There's 3 construction workers that are sitting on top of a building, and it's lunchtime, and worker A opens up the lunchbox and says, gosh darn it, roast beef again. Roast beef. I can't believe I got roast beef again. And construction worker number 2 opens up their lunchbox and says, peanut butter and jelly. I can't believe I got peanut butter and jelly again. And the 3rd worker opens up his lunchbox and he's like, turkey on rye. So the first worker guy says, tell you what, if we all show up here tomorrow and we have the exact same food in our lunchboxes, we're just going to jump off this building. Are you all in? And they're like, yeah, we're in, let's do it. So they started backwards this time, so number 3 went, and he opens up and he goes, oh, thank goodness. Chicken salad, I'm good. Thank goodness it wasn't turkey on rye. Number 2 opens up his, where he usually has peanut butter and jelly. Right now he's got turkey and wheat, and he's like, oh, thank goodness, turkey and wheat. First guy opens up his lunchbox and says, oh my gosh, roast beef again. Looks at the other two and goes, well, sorry, and he jumps off the building and kills himself. Third guy goes, man, I feel really bad, you know. Second guy says, don't feel bad. He packs his own lunch. I say it to my kids all the time if they don't like something. I was like, well, you packed your own lunch. If you don't like what you're eating, pack something different. It's kind of the reality of life. Don't like the people here you're hanging out with, pick some different friends. And to Avery's point, our business, for those of you who are budding entrepreneurs, your painting business, bud, is operating right now exactly how you have it designed. You may not like it, you may love it, but at the end of the day, it's operating exactly how you have it designed. Years ago, I love coming back here. As corny as it sounds, dialogue days, way back in the day when I had hair and was much younger, was one of the most impactful things that happened because I thought I got to listen to real world people and then they would say things professors said, and I was like, oh shit, maybe they're right. But I remember asking, which professions make the most money? Which professions make the most money? A lot of people think entrepreneurs do. Well, good ones do. We work with several of them in the beginning where they're hand to mouth because they put their ass on the line from a credit perspective and everything else. I genuinely mean this when we put this up here. This is one of our culture values in our office. If you make it mission over money, you'll never be poor. It sounds corny, but it's real. If you make it mission over money, you'll never be poor. If you chase the dollars, you'll be poor. Let the dollars chase you. Entrepreneurs, thank you for those of you that said something that you weren't getting into it because of the money. Let that be a byproduct. Because if you're getting into that, you're getting into it for the wrong reasons and it will wear you out and you will become exhausted. There was a question that was asked in Miss Amy Moody? Do you know how to pronounce her last name? Accounting? She was good. What's something that you wish you would have known before graduating that you know now? And I said that. That. Because when you're drinking, penny beers at the Chug and dollar pitchers at Dill Street and eating frickin' hot dogs and 10-cent tacos from Taco Bell, you think it's all about the money piece, and then you realize it's not. And then you eventually do well, and then you can eat nice food and be 15 pounds overweight. Does anybody else notice? I started cracking out my old man vest, and I put one on yesterday for the first time, and I was like, oh, I think I've gained some weight since last fall. Like, they got a little snug. It got a little more. Anybody else, when they break out the fall gear from the year before, they're like, oh, I think it must have been a good summer. You don't drink a lot and eat a lot in the summer? Well, you're not 21. Moving on. Attaboy. Besides Avery and Andrew, with whoever the closest person is next to you, what do you think are one of the biggest blind spots that businesses face? Blind spot meaning they don't even realize it's a blind spot and it's affecting them because they don't know what they don't know. So I'm going to give you 93 seconds because there's a lot of brain power in this room according to the people who set the stage for today. What do you think is one of the biggest blind spots for a business? Don't care what size, don't care what industry, just with whoever you're sitting next to, come up with one. Go, you have 93 seconds. Go. What do you think is one of the biggest blind spots a business faces? Go. Go. What's your first name? Caitlin. Did anybody catch the final 10? There's like 104 in here. So Caitlin, can you pick a number between 0 and 104? That's your number. So what'd you come up with?
Well, he said that goal can change, and that's one of the blind spots. And then I said like current events, for example, like COVID. No businesses knew that was going to happen, and they weren't prepared for it.
So let's take a great piece that was mentioned by Caitlin. How many of you think businesses overall, when pandemic started, had heart palpitations and freaked out? So why did they do that? Why? Yes, sir.
Because they just realized like there's a big change in the world, and they didn't really like plan for that.
How many people have been through that before?
At least that.
But how many people have been through the worldwide pandemic before? Well, it's sitting in this, well, not that type of frickin' pandemic. They've had the Spanish flu thingy in the 1800s. I'm talking like in current day. None of you, none of us, right? None of us. Like that was the most beautiful thing ever, right? My kids had no sporting events. I didn't have to get on an airplane. I walked from my house to my garage and sat on Zoom and was done. I was like, this is beautiful. I had 3 hot meals every day. I'm like, hey kids, where do we got to run you tonight? Nowhere, Dad. Nothing's going on. I'm like, perfect. Grab me a beer. This is awesome. This is the best thing ever, right? My wife's not going, do you want to go to Hobby Lobby with me? No, I don't. I want germs. It's phenomenal. Like, keep us going, except for all the bad stuff. Just keep the good stuff. But you're spot on. No one saw it coming, 1. And 2, if you've never been through something, it's a case of you don't know what you don't know. And it's no one's fault at that point in time. So thank you. I know you cringed when I asked you to use your vocal cords, but thank you for helping me out. It means a lot for all of you, Caitlin. So let's look at a couple. By the way, I broke a rule. I put way too much on this slide because I just want to put these 2 on here and move on. There's 2 of these on here that I want to touch base on and put some quick parameters around. How many of you view the word accountability as a negative thing? Raise your hand if you view accountability as a negative thing. How many of you view accountability as a positive thing? How many of you don't like voting? I love your honesty. Voting. Yeah, that's why I didn't put a hand up. See, there was 3 options. I just didn't give you the 3 up front. Nobody looks at accountability as a bad thing? Wow. Like for real, for real? Or do you guys think that's the answer I want to hear? Do you think it's a good or bad thing?
I think it's a good thing.
Why?
It's like you hold yourself to a certain standard. It's like a guideline almost.
I like that. This group's above average. Somebody who didn't want to vote, why do you think most people look at accountability as a bad thing? Why do you think some people look at accountability like a bad thing? Moving the eyes ain't going to help you. Come on. Let's take the opposite of what he said. Huh? And why do people not want to be go?
Accountability usually means more work for the person being held accountable.
Yes. So let's look at something in a lens. A great definition of accountability is helping people achieve the things they want to achieve. In typical business world, most of the times, a leader is wanting to hold someone accountable to the stuff they want to achieve, not the individual. So to your point, it's a lot different. If you had a friend of yours who one of their goals was to go visit a relative, and if they went, I don't know if I want to go visit relative so-and-so, and if you went, dude, come on, you said it was important to you, do you think they would actually appreciate that?
Probably.
Why?
Because it's a goal they want.
It's a goal for them. When my son complains about doing homework, Dad, I don't want to do homework. Homework sucks. It's not going to matter anyway. I don't need any of this stuff. I'm like, hey, you said one of your goals is to get out of school. Since you want to get out of school, therefore do your homework. Otherwise, you will be in it forever. Every single one of you have a friend in your personal life that when you look at this tying corporate goals to personal goals, everybody in this room, when you get into the business world, you will work harder to put a pool in your backyard than you will someone else's. If you're working harder to put a pool in someone else's backyard than you are yours, you will get exhausted. You like your pools better than others. Right? First name? Francis? Thank you. If I put a 2x4 on this ground, could you walk across it? Yeah, you could. If we all asked you nicely and Caitlin and I came over and videotaped you, would you do it for us? That's a yes. Now if I grab that same 2x4, Francis, put it on top of this building and stretch it all the way over to the library, in theory, don't go engineering on me, could you walk all the way across it? Probably. Can I ask you a yes-no question? Hey, there we go. I'm trying to get your pattern of yeses back. Would you walk across that 2x4 from this building all the way to the library if we asked you? Why not? Too risky. What if we put $10 million of tax-free money on the end of the 2x4? Would you do it? What would have to be on the end of that 2x4 for you to do it?
Maybe $100 million.
What if we put $105,678,014 at the end of that 2x4? Yeah, now she moved from probably to yeah. Why, Francis? Why would you do it then?
I think the money would be worth risking falling.
Thank you. So she mentioned a key word, and I'm going to move on from this, but let's remember, without purpose, people will not risk. Without purpose, people will not risk. If whatever you see at the end of your 2x4 from a design perspective, as long as that's compelling to you, you will risk. But if you don't have something at the end of your 2x4, you are not going to risk. Whether it's $105 million, whether it's a loved one, whether it's a burrito and a case of beer, it does not matter. Whatever it is that's at the end of your 2x4, as long as that's compelling enough, you will shimmy across that thing so fast you won't even realize it. So there's only 15 of us in our nice little jet ski company. Every month for 15 minutes, I have one-to-ones with all of our peeps around their personal goals only. So I hold people accountable to sending birthday cards to their friends. I hold them accountable to reading books that they want to read. I hold them accountable to kitchen projects. Emily last year, one of her goals was to take her 2 daughters to Disney. October was rolling around. I said, "Where's the trip? I don't see the trip on your counter." And she said, "I don't have time. Too much client stuff going on." I said, "Emily, we will fire you if you do not take your kids to Disney World, and we will cover the stuff for you." Now, would we fire Emily? No. But what point was I making? This is important to you. Go do it. We will cover you. Because anytime something is important and compelling to people, it's hard to stop them, especially on a personal standpoint. So when you look at this, not tying corporate goals to personal goals, big aspect to that. And yes, Emily, you will laugh if you watch this recording. One more piece. We give our clients a rule. When you look at this one right here, we give our clients a rule. If people don't buy into your vision, they don't buy into you. If people don't buy into your vision, they don't buy into you. How many of you play some sort of sport, whether it's recreational for fun, on a video game, on a team? How many of you play some sort of a sport in some way, shape, or form? Okay. What if you didn't know where they were wanting to end up? There was no, hey, here's where we want to go. Would that give you more or less energy? If it was just kind of like, hey, team showed up, don't really know what we're going to do, don't know where we're really trying to end up, but let's just kind of go. What would that do to your energy level? Drop it. Why? Huh? Well, not only is there no incentive, it's like, where in the heck are we going? It's like, where are we going? And from an entrepreneurial standpoint, most entrepreneurs have the vision in their head, but guess who they don't share it with? The people who are there to help execute it. But they have it all in their head because they've thought about it 14 times, but they just haven't shared it with anybody. We do, going back to the goal things and vision, my family does personal goal boards. So in our company retreat, we do our personal goal boards, which is next week, but my kids do it, my wife does it. We all have little goal boards on the back of our pieces. So I know what's important to my kids the next year. I know what their visions are. Now, as they get older, it's starting to get out of hand. Right? My son's putting like a brand new car up there. I'm like, I love your gusto, bud. No, I appreciate your gusto. But no, we're not going there. But I want to know what his vision is. I want to know what my daughter's visions are. I want to know what my wife's vision is. So I know how we can help everybody get there. Because to your point, there's a lot more energy around it from that standpoint. So how do we strengthen? Let's put some perspective around this, and then we're going to get a good old healthy debate going. As I was putting this together, thanks to a nifty little assessment tool that was, I said it earlier, was frickin' spot on. I realized something as you all go through, because Rob, they have not gone through it quite yet, correct?
No, getting close.
Right? It's painless, everybody. Tuesday.
Class, but they have to do it before.
Very good. Mine came back as a builder, which is spot on. My business partner is on the other side of the scale. I'm the 3-4, the left half. My business partner is on the right half, which is why we make a great team. If for any of you in the entrepreneurial world or business world, you don't want all of one person. You do not all want one type, even from a personality perspective, because if you get all of one type together, you get groupthink. Jared, our controller, we call him our anchor of reality. He is the most reserved. Let's think this through. We need him on our leadership team because the rest of us are like, let's go there and do this now. And then we'll figure it out along the way. Jared's like, well, how are you going to do it? And we're like, oh, that's a great question. Haven't thought that through yet. We just acquired a business in St. Louis, and when we first brought it up to Jared and started talking through financials, he's like, so what's your guys' plan for this? And what's your plan for this? And we're like, plans, Jared. We'll get there. Oh, those are all great ideas. Thank you. Guess we should probably get some of this stuff figured out first. Because we'll look at how these fit into these 4 S's. So let's get ready, because we're going to have a vote. Can I please have this side of the room, who's getting caught up on homework from another session, handle, let's go structure. You're going to be my structure folks. Structure. You're going to be my structure folks. And then I'm going to draw a line right here. If you were on this side, so here's going to be my line. What's your name, boss? Noah. So if you're on this side of the arc over here, you're going to be my strategy folks, right? You're my strategy folks. If you're on this side of the arc, you're going to be my staff people, and then you're my skills. So we got some skills people here. We got some staff people here. We got some structure people here. We got some strategy people here. Did I get that the same that time too? Or did I screw it up? What was it?
We were strategy.
Okay, do with whatever I told you the first time. Say them again, boss. Who's that? They're what?
Staff.
They're staff. You guys, huh? Your structure and your strategy. Thank you, team captain. No, you got to keep this shit straight. You guys are what? Staff. Good, and you're? See, if you play stupid, people rescue you, and then they get it. Let's go. Go. Okay, so here's the question that's going to happen. I want you to make a case on why whatever S you have would be the most critical for someone to grow their business. Right? So whatever S that you have, because you guys have which one again? Structure, and you guys were strategy, and you were? And you guys are? Okay, good. See, getting it down. Why do you think your S is the most important for a business to actually grow and develop over time? So why is it structure? Why do you think structure is so important for a business to grow and develop? Why do you think strategy? I want you to build a case. We're going to see who can debate the best on which S is the most important. I'm going to give you like 3 minutes. So just in your, whoever you're sitting next to, go, and then let's see who's good at debating. Go. Go. Thank you for bailing me out. Right.
I like the boots.
Thank you. Thank you for bailing me out earlier. All right, here's what we're going to do. Watch this unfold. I need one person from each section, just one person in that whole entire section. So one for that section, one for this side of Noah, one for this side of Noah, and just to stand up. Just one person. Awesome. Stay there. Come on. I got a 1:30 meeting I got to get to. Let's go. Thank you. Thank you. And I'm missing one on this side. Noah. Perfect. You're the best. Okay? Now you guys pick somebody.
Like in our section?
Yeah. And whoever gets picked, now you stand up and the rest of you sit down. Kudos for having guts.
Oh.
Uh,
I feel like a teacher right now. Everybody's like a boy.
you'll be all right. Go ahead.
Scared. The guy in the back in the green.
Green. Yeti. No, don't be turning. First name, boss? Jack, nice to meet you. Thank you for playing along. First name? Patrick, thank you for playing along. First name? Jack, Patrick, Owen? Jonathan. Jack, Patrick, Owen, Jonathan. All right. You guys can't make things predictable. That's why, don't sit down, Jack. I like rewarding people with guts, right? So when people stand up, I look at people, they're just like, I'll do it. And then I'm like, cool, pick somebody. That also gets me out of being the bad guy of picking somebody. You guys were, so why do you think skills is the most important?
Well, we said skills are more important because, like, you need skills to first off, like, sell anything, and, like, with skills comes, like, the rest of them anyways, because if you have skill, like, obviously staff, structure, and strategy will come with it, but you also need skills to start off things. You gotta be good at something to continue it.
That's pretty good. That's pretty good. Jack, which one do you guys have? So give us a debate.
So you said it yourself that your business is going to run how you design it. So if people know what they're going to do, what they are supposed to do, then it's a lot easier for them to do it. Therefore, we say structure is the best.
That's pretty good. Oh? What's up? What'd you guys have? Which one did you guys have again?
My partner and I were just talking about how, like, if your staff's not on the same page, that your business is not going to function the best. So that's why your staff's the most important.
Patrick?
We had strategy. The reason why I said strategy is the best and most important is because you just can't go into a business like head first. You need a strategy first, and it's definitely important for your workers and everybody that are under you because they want somebody they can look up to and be like, hey, leading into the right direction. So if you have no strategy, then you're just going into it blind.
Caitlin was like, I'm in, but I'm not in that group, so I think I'm going to stick over here with what Jack said. All right, you four, thank you. You can sit down. Let's everybody thank them. Thank you. Well done. Like, I genuinely mean that. It's not a fake compliment because I don't want anything from any of you. She gave a nice job. You build a great case for structure. Here's the but. If the structure doesn't support the strategy, the structure's no good. Back to the point of the phrase that Mr. Jack used, if your business is operating exactly how you have it designed. Often we will hear from prospects early on, Aaron, we're not generating enough new business. And I'll go, what's your new business strategy? And they'll go, well, we hired BDRs to schedule appointment. Yeah, but what's the strategy? Like, who are they going after? Well, I don't know. Well, glad you got the structure set up, but nobody knows the strategy. But what you said is spot on. Like, you first got to know, where are we going? What are we going to do? What's our strategy here? if you look at building a house, what's your strategy? Efficiency or how big and badass it is? Because those aren't going to be the same thing. We're in the midst of building a cabin right now. And when the boss and I started talking about it, I was like, what's our strategy? Is it more for comfort or more for looks? Because you're designing the HGTV cabin of the year. And last time I checked, we were going for comfort. It's in the middle of the woods, in the middle of nowhere. So I don't think we need the HGTV cabin of the year. So want to make sure our strategy's on the same page because that's going to drive our decisions. It's everyday life. 2 weeks ago, I was in North Dakota shooting ducks. I like to get off, I like to take time off and get away. And so my strategy there was, I need to get away from everybody and go in the middle of nowhere. So then my brain goes, where would I like to go? Somewhere out west. That sounds fun. And then my brain went, it's been a while since the boss and I have gone somewhere. What's the strategy? I think I'll be due for some warm weather in November. And I like beaches. So the strategy is put some emotional credit back into the boss's bank account, get grandma and grandpa to watch the kids. What's the strategy? Oh, okay, so now I know how to structure that particular vacation. That makes sense. Go with the strategy. Now, first, yes, Patrick, and this whole side, well done. Strategy. Strategy sets the stage. Let's get the structure to build it. Now, staff folks. Oh, can you say what you said again around staff? Because it was good.
Everyone's not on the same page, and you guys can't function.
And what same page might Owen be referring to? Hint that's on the screen in the bottom. The strategy. What they said is spot on. What Owen said is spot on. When people say not on the same page is what? Like, are we rowing left, you're rowing right? Are we going small? Are we supposed to be doing big? Like, what's the strategy? You're spot on. Well done. You know, this is the classic right people in the right spots. I'll give some examples. And then skills. Skills mean nothing if you don't have the right people with the structure to support it and understanding the strategy. Le'Veon Bell was good where at? What sports team was Le'Veon Bell originally good at? Steelers. Did he have skills? Was there a structure around him to support him? At the Steelers? Yes. Is Tomlin's strategy very clear on the run game at that point in time with Big Ben? He then went to which team? After Steelers, he went where? The Jets, Jets. What's their structure? Zero. What's their strategy? Make it through the year. Does he have great skills? Pointless. Shitty team. No structure. They just kind of flounder around. Yeah. But we're talking about Le'Veon Bell from like 6 years ago, though, right? I would agree with you. Would you have ever thought, what are they, 4-2 right now or something? It's amazing. It's the Jets, right? It's like, is this real? Well, has the new coach brought in a different strategy? How long has he been there? Like 2 years now? 3? 2 or 3? What? Has he changed structure? I mean, look, if you take this and take it to what's going, these things are changing. It's everyday life. As corny as it sounds, it's real. And yes, to your point, several years ago we would all laugh. Now it's kind of like, oh crap, it's real. Good for them. They've earned it. So let's get some examples. What's the strategy in terms of company goals? When no one says on the same page, what's the strategy here? Where are we even trying to end up from a goal perspective? It goes back to the friend when we talked about are we trying to win every game? Are we trying to lose every game? We try and just have fun? What's the goal? Right? I coach my kids' youth soccer teams, and they're like, what's the most important thing, Coach Aaron? And I'm like, winning. And if you happen to have fun along the way, that's a bonus. But here's the thing. I've never seen an upset kid win. So therefore, if your parents say have fun, let's have fun by winning. Okay? That's how it's going to work. because nobody complains when people win, right? Even the kid that sit on the bench, because you kept saying, are you tired, Michael? I had this kid that wasn't really good this year, and I kept going, are you tired? Are you tired? You seem tired. You went out? You tired? He's like, yeah, I think I'm tired. I'm like, perfect, sit down. Got to get my son back in. But you tell, I think you're tired. You tired? You look tired. You tired? You breathing heavy? Better sit down. Yeah, I think I'm tired. Don't make judgments. It's rec soccer. I have a reputation to uphold. Ideal clients. Whoa, who in the heck are we even targeting? What does an ideal client look like? We ask we ask all of our clients this early on. We'll go, what's your ideal client? And they'll go, anybody with money. I'm like, that's horrible. No, not how it works. And I gave the new business strategy. Look at structure. Angie, cannot remember her last name. She's on the last panel. Wow, she was sharp. She was talking about hiring and onboarding processes. Your first 90 days at any company you go to after this juncture of your life will be the most important 90 days of that whole life cycle. I have not seen my family much in the past couple of months because we have 3 new hires. And in a small company, a lot of that weight falls on my shoulder. And I spend a lot of time with them now because I don't want to spend a lot of time with them later. So if you properly onboard people now, you can reap the long-term result of it. My wife is one of 6 girls, and when our kids were younger, we always got ridiculed because when we'd go to said beach on day 1, all the other her sisters and their husbands would just let their kids go around crazy. And I would always take my kids and we would go, okay, water's chest high. That means stop going out in the ocean. And then we'd walk over, okay, remember, here's where we're sitting. And I always spent all that time day 1. They'd be like, just relax and enjoy yourself. And I always went, no, just wait. So I basically wasted day 1 being attached to my kid's hip, showing them, hey, okay, notice the current. You're getting up to your belly button. Time to come back in. Up, here's the lifeguard stand. Up, here's this. Because after day 1, did I have to chase them? Nope. And guess what? I watched all my other nieces and nephews the entire week. I watched them chase them. I go, hey, remember when you guys were busting my chops for that one day? Now I'm going to bust your chops for the next 6 because you didn't properly onboard your children to this vacation experience. Everything doesn't have to be about business, Aaron. No, it's called life. And I'd rather waste one day coaching and training and setting the boundary and helping drive self-sufficiency see this creating learned helplessness? Hang tight. This next 3 minutes is going to be therapy for Aaron. I'm married to Mother Teresa, not the literal one. It's like her daughter. She's the nicest person in the world. She'll bend over backwards. She'd kill herself to save an ant crossing the road. Our kids are doomed. You want to know why? They haven't had to do anything for themselves. Ever. So my son has soccer practice at 7 in the morning during conditioning in the summer, and Supermom was somewhere. And he goes, Dad, what time are you going to wake me up tomorrow? And I was like, for what? He's like, well, Mom's got VBS this week, so you got to take me to soccer. She said she put it on your calendar. Look at my calendar. I was like, oh, shit, it's on my calendar. All right, yeah. What time are you going to wake me up? And I was like, never. He's like, well, I got to be there by 7. I was like, well, that's cool. If I were you, I would be in my car by 6:45. So what time are you going to wake me up? I'm not going to. Well, Mom wakes me up. And I went, I'm not Mom. Well, you at least can get my bag together? No. You going to fix me breakfast? Mom used to fix me breakfast. No. So what am I supposed to eat? Food? Like you're 15, like you use your phalanges. You grab like a bowl, and you put shit in there, and you put some milk, and you eat it. You do that. So first day of practice, my home office is in like my side garage, so I hear the garage door open, I go, boys right on time. Tuesday rolls around, next day, 6:45. Don't hear anything. It's like, huh. Little shithead must still be sleeping. Yeah, let's let him sleep. About 9:15, he's banging on the glass door, and I'm sitting in the middle of a Zoom conversation. I went, wait till that meeting was over. When he's like, Dad, over sub practice, coach is going to be pissed. And I said, at who? My ass ain't running. I'm too old for that. I ain't going nowhere. Now, how many times since that fateful Tuesday, since this summer, if I've ever had to take him somewhere, has he been late or missed? 0. Mom was gone when we got that first cold spell, Mom was gone. And he plays varsity at said high school. And it was at the JV game. He's like, Dad, I didn't bring my coat. And I said, you mean the one I told you to take? He's like, yeah. Can you run it to the high school real quick? I said, yeah. I'll run it out there at about 10 o'clock when I come pick you up. But it's cold. Sucks to be you. Mom gets home. I hear her car start back up. I said, where are you going? I'm running a coat to Isaac. I would rather do that than deal with pneumonia. I said, you're justifying now. Now you're just justifying. He's not going to catch frickin' pneumonia. He's a 15-year-old boy. They're out there dumping water on each other's heads and licking each other. They're not going to get frickin' pneumonia. Jeez, oh, Pete's. That's you going, he might get pneumonia and expire. No. He's eating a cheeseburger he just found on the bench from some other kid 3 games ago. I'm pretty sure he's not catching frickin' pneumonia. It's called learned self-helplessness. When these kids get into college, you're going to make their bed for them, feed them food all the time. You're setting them up for failure. I may be a little to the extreme. Somewhere in between's the answer. But when we look at these items and we look at onboarding and accountability, which is I love how this group mentioned the things that they set up. No, that's a good thing. It helps me accomplish the things that I want to accomplish. That's freaking awesome. But that's a structure piece. Look at staff. Again, we got the right people in the right seat. Comfort zones and motivation. Remember, motivation is what gets you going. Discipline is what keeps you going. Right? Motivation is what gets you going. People think they often have a motivation problem. They don't. They have a discipline problem. Motivation is what gets you to go somewhere in the first place. Discipline is what keeps you going there. Most people don't have a motivation issue. They have a discipline issue. That's why at the beginning of a semester, it's like, yeah, this is good. I'm going to kill it in this class. And then after like 3 weeks, like, man, this is hard. You get remotivated. No, it's a discipline issue. That's a complete discipline issue. And then personal goals. Again, you all work harder to put a pool in your backyard than you do somebody else's. And then finally, from a skills perspective, if we look at this from a sales revenue generation perspective, right? You got the true sales side, how they prospect, get referrals, et cetera, et cetera. Because to your point, and I'm biased, because we only deal with the revenue generation side of our clients. We're not operational or marketing folks. Can't sell anything. You're not going to have a business anyway. And most of the entrepreneurs and even mid-market companies who are blessed to help are absolutely sharp, phenomenal men and women, CEOs and leaders who either have developed a product or they're operational experts and they just don't know how to sell. So once they get past their network of people, they go, oh crap, my company can't grow anymore because I don't know anybody else I can talk to. It's because you don't have a process on how to go about doing it. So let's remember a couple things. It's almost 2 o'clock. Hang in there. Strengths overdone become your biggest weakness. I would be careful of having EADD, which is entrepreneurial ADD. My business partner is one of those. If he sees a squirrel, he chases it. I spend half my time slowing him down and focusing him, which is why the builder aspect to that just works so well, Rob, because it's that great counterbalance. As we always say, we're the yin to each other's yangs. We don't know what we don't know. I'm not going to say this to blow smoke up your ass. I do this talk in front of a lot of presidents and CEOs, and they don't give half as good answers on the skills, structure, and staff stuff. It's probably because they overcomplicate the hell out of it. So kudos, right? But when you look at those blind spots, let's just know what we don't know. Patrick, what'd you say? It all starts with what? Boom. Sorry, Jack and Owen and Jonathan, I set you guys up for failure. I already know who was going to win, but you all did a great job. And remember, skills are irrelevant with the wrong people in the wrong structure. You can put Le'Veon Bell on the Jets, and he'll make his pile of cash, but the team's not going to do anything. So with that said, I have a fireworks display. Okay, I'm done. Questions? Yes, ma'am?
This might be highly unprofessional,
Oh, hold on. You're talking. It's me.
Yeah.
It's okay.
There's a TikTok trend of kids filming their dads in airports to the Home Depot entry music.
Uh-huh.
And I feel like that is your life song. It's like the Home Depot.
Is that a good thing?
It's hilarious to me.
Then I'll take it. That sounds awesome. I will go home and talk to my kids and say, show me the airport Home Depot TikTok thingy. I'm in. Anybody else? Hold on. Hey, siéntate, por favor. I had Taco Bell this morning. That's Spanish for sit down, please. Go.
Like, what specifically do you do for your job?
Oh, we are in the sales leadership, sales training business.
Gotcha.
So most of the clients who we're blessed to help, they do pretty good already. We just help them get the same result faster and with less effort.
Nice.
Good. Go ahead, sir.
Where'd you go to school?
Here. Chirp, chirp, fool. I got the plates to prove it. 2015 Distinguished Alum.
Are you coming to homecoming?
No, I don't do weekends. We own property and it's hunting season, so no. I don't do weekends. Good. Anybody else? Yes, ma'am.
How does your wife feel about how
Not well.
you drop the S word?
Huh?
How frequently does your wife say something about you dropping the S word?
Well, I've known my wife since she was 6 and I was 3. We grew up in the same neighborhood together. I don't like changing who I am, so she knew who she was marrying. Now, let's be real. I respect my kids too much, not except for my son, he's 15. Freaking, they've been on a bus. You've been on a bus in 2nd grade, you're hearing worse than this. Everything's got context. She'll get over it. Good. Are you sticking up? Now I just realized, are you sticking up for her? How do you don't know her. You know what she does? She throws bottles at me. She uses 4-letter F words. Just kidding, she doesn't. Show a thumb's productive today? Better than what you thought it might be? Thank you all for the time. Thank you for the interaction. For those of you that chimed in, oh, and I know you didn't want to, but thank you. Jack, thank you. Caitlin, thank you. Anything else for them?
That was fun, huh? Yeah. I'll try not to be boring as hell Tuesday.
Bye all, thank you.